Hello, thank you for joining me for yoga in bed. Let's go ahead and get started. Lying on our backs. Always starting with our breathing. A nice deep breath way down into the bottom part of the lungs so the abdomen rises and falls. Rises on the inhale, falls on the exhale. Now changing to the two-part breath, aiming first for the belly, then for the chest. We want our exhales to be as long as possible because that calms the brain and the body. Taking a moment here to remember that we're going to do the best that we can for today, that every day is a different day, but being grateful that we've taken time to practice our yoga skills, to make them stronger in our minds and our memories. Grateful that our bodies move and that we can do these poses. And continuing with the breath, on the inhale, we're going to raise the feet flat on the bed. I'm going to start by tilting the hips. So on the inhale, we tilt toward our belly, and on the exhale, our knees exhale, tilt toward our belly and our chest. And when we're ready, transitioning from this into active bridge. And one more set. And we're not going to release the knees all the way down. We're just going to gently rock from side to side. Placing our hands on our knees, we're going to make circles, about medium-sized circles, not too big, not too small. Pushing those knees away from us, making circles, waking up those hips and thighs and knees, and changing direction. And release, hugging those knees to the chest again. And flex and point those toes. And moving away from the center. In other words, twisting the right foot to the right and the left foot to the left. And twisting toward the center. So right foot's going left, your toes are pointing toward one another. Nice big hug, releasing the feet, stretching into staff legs, allowing our legs to open just to the point that feels comfortable for today. Holding on the inside of the thigh, really allowing that stretch. Nice deep breathing. And then back to staff, down to butterfly, pushing those feet together if possible, using props if needed. And then back to staff. Really noticing how those hamstrings feel. Pulling our legs toward us if we can. And then back to straddle. It's like an inverted straddle. There's a seated straddle, a standing straddle, and this is an inverted straddle. Of course, remembering that if this feels uncomfortable, we may bend the knees, we may use straps or props. Now we're going to move with the breath. So we're going to do knees to chest on the inhale, staff on the exhale, straddle legs on the inhale, staff on the exhale, butterfly feet on the inhale, staff on the exhale. Now moving with your own breath. Remember, staff is always the exhale. Skip knees to chest, sorry. So inhaling knees to chest, this is our last set. Exhaling staff. Inhaling straddle. Exhaling staff. Inhaling butterfly. And exhaling staff. Now let's try that straddle again just to see how it feels. Should feel a little bit looser, a little bit more comfortable, really letting those legs release. Back to staff. We're going to tee out those arms and let those legs drop, drop, drop. Careful, careful. Pulling those arms over our head, holding our hands together and just gently stretching, flexing. So we're going to push that right foot against the wall, pull that right arm up, changing sides, moving with your own breath. And one more set. And releasing those arms down, snow angeling those arms down. We're going to lift that right leg up, cross it over that left knee, pulling the leg in, really allowing that lower back and that right hip to stretch out. Remembering you may move the leg to the point that feels like the most comfortable stretch for today. Remembering that every day is different in yoga. Our bodies are going to feel different. We're going to be in a different mindset. Hopefully the practice of this will allow us to really be able to focus on what we're doing right now and try to leave everything else behind or at the door, or however you want to say it, outside our yoga practice. Really letting that hip release. Full of breath. And then releasing the hands, walking them up that left leg if we can, just for a little bit fuller stretch or a lot fuller stretch. You may notice as you continue to practice these yoga poses that it becomes easier and easier to do some of them. And some of them may remain a challenge for you. That's just what your body's doing for right now. Try not to worry about it too much and just do what you can for that day. And release. Changing legs. Noticing that our bodies may feel different, and that's okay. Different with the left hip, different with the right hip. Yoga is intended to help us bring balance, literally. Just breathing in. And nice long exhale. Gently pulling that leg in, that right leg in just a little more if possible. And then raising that right leg, releasing. If we feel up to it, pulling that right leg toward us just a tiny bit more. Really letting that hip go, letting it relax. Always remembering, of course, that if I do any of these poses too long for you, or if I'm not counting the exact number of breaths, you can do the same on both sides and then go back to relaxation. A relaxation in this position would be knees pointing toward the sky, feet flat on the bed, or completely everybody laying down like corpse. Legs down, arms down, relaxed. And releasing that leg down. Going to transition into into fetal position. Just taking a moment here to be grateful for our practice, grateful for how our bodies move. This is also a relaxation pose. So we're going to pull that right arm over, straighten out those arms into a T, and scoot over some more in the center of the bed. And from this position, we're going to change the sides that our knees are on. So inhaling up and exhaling down, looking over the opposite shoulder. Taking a moment here, trying to stack those legs, trying to keep that right hip and left shoulder on the bed. We're going to move with our breath now, so inhaling up, exhaling down, looking over that right shoulder, inhaling up, exhaling down. Again, moving with your own breath. Moving like this is really good for the spine. And twists are good for our metabolism. It's also good for our upper body to keep it still. It's good for our neck to move. And last set. We're going to pull the knees to the center. We're going to straighten out into staff leg. We're going to do the same thing just with straight legs. So letting the legs drop. This is going to feel different, so be careful. To the side. And just stay here for a moment, looking over that right shoulder. Full of breath. Noticing how it feels like a different stretch. Be gentle with your body. Use props if needed. So we're going to inhale up. And exhale down. Looking over that left shoulder. Full of breath. And starting to move with your own breath. You don't have to stop in the middle, but it can be a little helpful. Really using our abs and our core for this. And last set. And back to center. Hugging those knees to our chest. Gonna push up or put our feet flat on the bed. And we're gonna push up with our hips into bridge with no arms. Well, we still have arms, we're just not using them. Nice deep breathing here. Really active thighs, active lower back, active abs, shoulders pushed to the mat. And then releasing the legs down, inhaling up, really hugging those knees to our chest and releasing down. We're going to repeat this. last set. I'm going to cross that leg all the way over. Put our arms in a T and we're going to let the legs drop. Really trying to stretch out that right hip. We may want to move it to a point that feels like a good stretch. I'm looking over that right shoulder, arms in a T. And reaching up, I'm going to change positions and stretching that left hip, left hamstring, sciatica. Nice deep breathing. Finding the position that feels comfortable and allows you for a good stretch. Remember, this can put some tension on the back, so be careful, listen to your body. And then up, knees to chest, switching again, really trying to pull that hip over. It's not giving me the stretch I'm wanting today. Your left hip is on the bed. We can pull our right knee all the way over. That's awesome. We're going to inhale up again, knees to chest. And changing legs. Really pulling that leg over this time, seeing if you can get it to touch the bed. Full of breath. Noticing how the body feels. Releasing anything that feels tense or tight. And back to the center, knees to chest. This time really pull your shoulders. So we've got our knees to our chest and clasping our hands. Push those knees gently against those arms so our shoulders are stretching out. Raising our arms if we choose. Full of breath, just really stretching out those shoulders. One final straddle. You may notice it feels really different from the first time you did it this morning or whenever you started. Stretching those arms, pushing against the legs. And back into fetal. That's going to be our yoga practice for today. That was really focusing a lot on the lower back, the hips, the sciatica, the hamstring. And this can be great for the beginning of a workout, or it can be an entire workout. So I hope you all are enjoying these videos. I hope you'll like and share them with anyone you think may benefit from them. And I will keep making them. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.